Hello, and welcome to Sound Off with System One. I'm your host, Krista Kornchuk, and I'm here today with our recruiting experts to speak with you about key IT trends to watch in 2025. Before we get started, here are a few words about System One. System One is a leading provider of specialized, highly technical outsourced services and workforce solutions to critical infrastructure, technology, life sciences, and government sectors, putting more than 650 employees and 9,000 contractors to work in the United States, Canada, and the UK. As you're tuning in today, please join us in the comments. Our marketing team will be monitoring them. Let us know where you're joining from and what industry you work in. And if you have any questions relevant to today's topics, please drop them in there as well. And we'll try to answer as many questions as we can. And I'm going to have our panel of experts introduce themselves. They're also going to be introducing their hot jobs, which you can view by scanning the QR code or visiting jobs.system1.com. Shnazi, we'll start with you.
Hi, happy Friday, LinkedIn. My name is Shnazi Gamharani. I'm a senior IT recruiter with System One. Been with the company about 5 years now, and I am based out of Tampa, Florida. My hot job is I'm hiring for senior and mid-level computer systems engineers in Tampa, Florida, my backyard, with a large simulation and defense company. These are long-term opportunities supporting flight simulation, software, and military training systems development. Ideal candidates are going to have at least 5 years with C++ development in Linux and Windows environments. Ideally, you'll have a secret clearance. If you don't have one, though, the position does require that you are able to obtain one. If you're interested, just let me know and drop me a line.
Hi, LinkedIn. My name is Michaela. I am an IT recruiter for System One. I've been here for about 3 years now, and I am based out of Orlando, Florida. And my hot job this week and today is a records and information management consultant for a major defense government contract in the Washington, D.C. area, mainly looking for 7+. So it's a senior level position. So looking for 7+ years in record management consulting. That's also looking for a top secret clearance as well.
Okay. And hello, my name is Leah Parrott, and I recently joined System One, so I'm probably the newest of us, but I have worked in IT staffing and recruiting for many years, and love what I do. So a hot job for me would be an application system analyst with a publicly traded company that is the position would be located in either Louisville, Kentucky or Chicago, Illinois. And it would be the perfect, techno-functional position because the person will be responsible for both strategic and operational management of their corporate applications. So this person will need a bachelor's degree in computer science or accounting, or a bachelor's degree in any field, and 8 years of commensurate experience. But if you are interested in that role, definitely give me a shout, and I would love to consider you for it.
Fantastic. And again, you can view the jobs by scanning the QR code or visiting jobs.system1.com, and be sure to connect with our panel if you're interested in these roles. We are going to get started. Again, we are discussing key IT trends to watch in 2025. If you have any questions for our panel, please drop them in the comments. And our first question, what skills will be most in demand for IT professionals in 2025? Michaela, let's start with you.
Yeah, great question. The IT landscape is evolving rapidly. And I think in 2025, the most in-demand IT skills an IT professional will focus on, emerging technologies, cybersecurity, and cloud computing. So some of those key skills to expect is obviously your AI, machine learning, cybersecurity, and ethical hacking. And then also, as I said, the cloud computing and DevOps are going to be some emerging technologies coming in 2025.
Yeah. And same, to piggyback off you, or agree, I guess, with you, Michaela, I do tend to get a lot of requests from clients on The AI and the machine learning piece, cybersecurity has always been critical, but especially, now that there's so many different points and media and ways for things to go sideways, cybersecurity is just absolutely critical. So those two, and then automation, whether that be RPA, robotic process automation, or any type of automation, or even the technical soft skills between using or users, which could be customers or internal employees, and then how they interact with the technology. So those would
I,
be, but I would say.
I love that, Leah and Michaela. You guys are touching on great points. And I think to bridge that gap between those technical functional roles, we're seeing a huge surge in career coaching and development roles year over year, too. So I do think they're reinvesting and upskilling and training internally, too. More companies are going to be investing in those internal development programs.
Mm-hmm.
That's a great addition, Shanazi. Yeah, those soft skills are still very crucial to hiring managers and companies. How should IT professionals future-proof their careers in a rapidly evolving tech landscape? Michaela, we'll start with you.
Yeah, I think to future-proof their careers in the rapidly evolving tech landscape, people should really, or candidates should really focus on continuously learning new skills and sharpening what the skills they have, adaptability, and I think strategic skill development. So investing in lifelong learning, as we are going to mention a lot today. So staying up to date with all the new skills that are coming out, technologies that are coming out. So getting, on those certifications or those online courses, to just be up to date, I think is going to be huge for candidates in the future in 2025.
Oh, I love that, Michaela. It's one of my favorite things about IT. I do feel like in the IT talent economy, skills are the currency for success. And I think we'll see more of that. I've been reading that about 81% of C-suite executives are turning to skills-based hiring instead of just academic credentials alone. So I think being able to take control over your own future and invest in those provable skill sets will go a long way.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And from a general sense of keeping yourself future proofed and marketable, I think it just takes the effort to, be innovative and to try to always stay at least aware or ahead of, new ways that companies are interacting with their customers. And, um, you know, clients are for me anyway, asking for help with being able to interact with the customers. So just knowing all the different media and ways to do that nowadays is a great way to future proof yourself.
Definitely. And it's nice to know that professionals have the control. It's super easy to access certifications to gain those skills.
Mm-hmm.
Are companies doing enough to address the IT talent shortage? And if not, what can be done? Shazi, we'll start with you.
That's a great question, Krista. It's a two-way street. I think it's twofold too. It's never, is there ever going to be enough being done? I think there can always be more, but I do think we're seeing in 2025, I do anticipate seeing more organizations invest in internal development programs. So they're understanding the growing importance of guidance and adaptability as to reskill their workforce as to better navigate the technological changes. I think a huge part of that is just going to be making sure that you're taking advantage of all those opportunities and really learning more and staying relevant.
Mm-hmm. And I see companies too that, as opposed maybe to years past, that are starting to recognize how important it is to develop and start to cultivate those skills in-house, as opposed to years past where you may have seen, niche skills, or what would have seemed like a niche skill 5 years ago is now becoming more mainstream, and companies, to my delight, are really investing in making sure that their employees have those, providing them the training and access to continue to develop those skills.
Fantastic. It looks like we have a little interruption. I'm sorry about that. One of our guests have a question, and I'm going to add to this question a little bit. Are companies doing enough to address sorry about that. pulled up the wrong one. Is Coursera a good question for new skill sets? And I'd also like to add, if you all have any recommendation of good places to gain those certifications, please pop that in there as well.
I personally love Coursera. I've used it to better understand skill sets myself. I think Udemy, there are plenty of free options. You don't need, because I understand certain certifications require money. Yes, I think when it comes to IT skills, there's a provable piece to it. And that's why Coursera, Udemy, anywhere where you can get on GitHub, prove those projects, even if they're personal projects that you've learned on your own, you have a proof point and you have a portfolio that you can put on paper for employers. So yes, I think it's a great option. And I will always encourage any self-development like that.
Very much so. Yeah. And to your point, there are so many. I mean, even YouTube and LinkedIn Learning has some great things that you can access, and Udemy, which I realize sometimes that requires some money and membership, but there's so much available that's free to use.
I would just caution some users of that. If there's an option to create a portfolio or a final project, that's always going to be a little better to show that proof point to future prospective employers too.
Mm-hmm. Yes, agree.
Fantastic. Thank you for your input. I'd like to say I've used LinkedIn Learn quite a bit, and I really like that the certifications show up right on your profile too. I think Coursera has the same option. All right, our next question: how can businesses attract and retain top IT talent in a competitive market? Leah, we'll start with you.
Sure. So I guess I look at that question in two ways. To attract good talent, especially technologists, are generally, and I guess many people are this way, people that do work in any field generally love what they do and are very invested in what they do, technologists especially. So as far as attracting them, you want to make sure that you demonstrate that they are going to be able to do impactful work, and really maybe what that impact will be, and that they're going to have the autonomy to be able to do that. Because every technologist out there is really going to be wanting to build their own skills and develop their own expertise further. And then retaining talent, just creating an environment where autonomy and creativity are there still. So providing support for certifications they may want to do, or new projects that may interest them, that sort of thing. Just really recognizing the talent that you do have and supporting them.
I love that. And I think, yeah, no, Leah, I think you hit the nail on the head with autonomy. Everyone's craving that. And then, especially when you're passionate about what you do, mastery and purpose come into huge play here. So when it comes to attracting talent, I think making that obvious, companies including more diverse job descriptions with additional details with those technologies that are new and emerging that might be more appealing to certain skills and individuals, as well as, hey, this is what our culture looks like, and this is why you want to work here. I don't think a general job description is as effective as they used to be. When it comes to retention, I think it's communication. Having those conversations with your employees, knowing where they're at and where they want to go next, and showing them that you have a path to get there. I think that's going to be huge. Conversations.
Yeah, just to piggyback off both of you guys, I think in the tech talent is super high demand, companies, I feel like now in 2025 need to go above and beyond of just, offering high salaries and stuff like that. I think the three things that come to mind when I think someone is looking for a new job is obviously compensation and benefits, but I think feeling valued in that company, and also, as we've also mentioned, feeling challenged in your work environment too, and then also supported too, especially if you find a challenge that you're supported by your team and your other colleagues, I think is huge. So creating that, as we've mentioned, career growth and learning opportunities in the company, making sure that's aware to the employees coming on that those are options, but then also, inclusive, work environments, and also, work-life balance is also huge for people as well. So just being able to compete with a lot of different companies, I think is huge when employees are looking for their next job.
Yeah. One thing, and I'm sorry to interject this, it just comes to mind, but I can't tell you how many, and I've placed hundreds of candidates in my many years, but I can't tell you how many candidates that um, have been frustrated maybe by their companies not embracing innovation, meaning that they're stuck in the way that things always were done. So I would encourage companies to, recognize that, hey, you have hired talented people and there may be better ways and new technologies to do things, and, give validity to some of the ideas that those folks might be bringing to the table.
I love that, Leah. Having employers, instead of assuming that they're happy and satisfied, maybe having them ask. Maybe just ask
Exactly.
your top performers and top talent to make sure that they do feel valued and they are happy. I like
Yes.
that a lot.
Yeah. Thanks.
Those are excellent points. Thank you for adding that, Leah. And I think you all hit the nail on the head too. When job seekers are looking, they are not just looking at the salary and the job description. There's so much more behind that. What is next? Absolutely. So our next question: what is next for cloud computing in 2025? Shazi, we will start with you.
Loaded question. A lot more, all the clouds. So I think we're going to see more of it. I've been reading estimated over 20% increase in crowd related jobs. Along with that, we're also going to see more global end user cloud spend. I think across the areas we'll see this the most is going to be across continuous cloud modernization efforts. So AI powered cloud services, increased adoption of edge computing within cloud architectures, and then more hybrid and multi-cloud solutions. I think across the board, we'll also see that focus on robust security measures, sustainability, and scalability.
Yes, well said. And that directly mirrors so many of the requests and conversations that I have with clients. Being on the account management side as I am, and more directly interfacing with clients, I cannot tell you how many times the concepts or words of things like AI powered cloud services, multi-cloud and hybrid cloud, serverless computing, edge computing, cloud security, and then zero trust architecture are really areas that are huge investments are being made right now.
Definitely.
Perfect. And how will AI and automation reshape IT jobs in 2025? Michaela, we'll start with you.
Yeah, I think AI and automation are transforming IT roles right now. And I think a lot of people might think that it's eliminating jobs, but I think it's the opposite. I think it's going to be creating new opportunities for a lot of people, but also I think it's going to shift a lot of the responsibilities to make those new opportunities. So I think it will be a really good thing in the future, and especially in 2025.
100%, Michaela. AI is not going anywhere. I think the AI job market's set to grow about 37% between now and 2030. So I think we're going to see more of it. What we'll see this year on the tail end of last year is more deeper integration with daily workforce tasks. So our daily work tasks will be impacted. I think we're going to see it go live a lot more in production environments. And I really think adoption is going to be huge for this year with AI.
Yep. Very much so. And on this particular question, I tend to it's just a point of interest to me in different networking and groups or topic driven groups really that I'm part of. And so topics that I even record them, but things that I've been told by direct hiring managers who are hiring people and looking at their years are things like they believe developers will become AI enhanced engineers using things like GitHub, Copilots, Codium, Tab9 to handle repetitive tasks. That's one thing that seems to come up a lot. Another would be that cloud and DevOps will be fully automated with infrastructure as code, and then AI-driven DevOps to automate things like deployments. And then another one would be that AI is expected and is already taking over routine IT support and help desk roles. things like chatbots and visual agents to handle level 1 and 2 support tickets, and that allowing their IT professionals to focus on either more complex or more strategic things. That seems to be happening a lot. And then the last common theme seems to be data and AI governance will be critical. So as AI generated data grows, compliance, governance, and even bias detection around those things are going to become critical.
Absolutely.
So that is what I'm truly hearing in the market from hiring managers.
And I think what I'm hearing you say, Leah, is instead of being afraid of our job, like jobs being taken in a daily task order, I think it's more, hey, now we get to work on some more challenging, complex skills that
Yes.
are going to utilize our problem solving capabilities and offer us that growth into different areas.
Yes, you nailed it. Yep. I totally agree.
And I hope.
Yes.
Fantastic. So AI is something we're all going to be evolving with.
Mhm.
Yep.
And our last question of the day, which industries will be most affected by IT advancements within the next year? Michaela, we'll start with you.
Yeah, I think several industries are going to, be significantly impacted by different IT advancements this year. I think a couple that come to mind for me is going to be the healthcare industry. I think it's going to be huge for, with AI assisting doctors and different things, with detecting different, diseases and doing different surgeries and stuff like that. I think it's going to be huge for that as well. And I also think, the finance and banking industry is going to be affected greatly as well. I think it's going to, the AI is going to detect, different fraud detection and restrict transactions and security and all that good stuff. So I think it's definitely going to affect a lot of industries, but those are two that come to mind for me.
Completely agree, Michaela. And I do think we'll see more and more IT advancements impacting different industries. Every industry, it's just going to be a matter of when and what that timeline looks like. So this year, I would love to see more in manufacturing. And I do think we'll continue to see acceleration in smart manufacturing. We're going to see a lot of it driven by Industry 4.0 technologies like automation and Internet of Things. But I do think as we're trying to optimize production efficiencies, the focus will be on security, especially in those manufacturing industries where operational technology and information technology are converging. I just think security posture is going to be huge to mitigate any risks, especially within critical infrastructures.
Very much so. Very much so. And to both of your points, I think finance and healthcare tend to be the most visible, maybe, and leading the way, just because we as customers or users both use those things every day and just can see it more obvious. But it's been a thrill to me because I truly think it affects every industry. But even some small businesses, and by this I mean SMB businesses that typically are not going to have their own apps. Maybe they're going to be using applications from Microsoft that are more out of the box. It thrills me to see them using things like Copilot and some of the AI-driven technologies that are now becoming available to just mainstream, through things that they would purchase as operating systems for their companies. So that's been cool.
Fantastic. Thank you all so much. We are out of time for today, but thank you to our panel and thanks to everyone that commented. If you're not following us already, make sure you follow us on LinkedIn and subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can see other episodes of Sound Off with System One on there. And make sure you tune in to Sound Off with System One every first and third Friday at 2 p.m. for more job seeker topics. Our next Sound Off with System One live stream will be Friday, March 7th at 2 p.m. And we're going to be discussing what to do if you lose your job. We'll see you then.